Spoiler alert, 15 minutes from now, you're going to know the final score of every remaining NFL Week 6 game, plus the best available player props. We have a lot to get to, so let's jump right in after we take a quick look in the rearview mirror to see how we got here. Last week, I was 2 over 500. That makes me 11 over on the season. Hench, he broke even in Week 5. He's 3 over in 23. Spaghetti was in the black last week. He's on the rise. Okay, 7 under on the season, but you stick with it, fella. And Brady Lemieux was 500 in Week 5. For you newbies, Brady Lemieux is the aggregate of our picks, and he's now 11 over on the season, just like Dave. But now we're on to Cincinnati, and so are the Seahawks. If you like either one of these teams' chances as a dark horse of making a Super Bowl run, good news for you. In the here and now, Cincy laying 3, total is 45. We've got Gene O, Burr O. I'm going over, obviously, and I've got the Bengals winning 34-30. Hench, how say you?
Well, I like this Seahawks team. I think the beatdown they put on Spaghetti's Giants a couple weeks ago is for real. That's who they are. Jamar Chase is not going to have 15 catches and 3 touchdowns against Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. I like the Seahawks 27-26.
Spaghetti.
Well, I am going Seattle in this one, 24-23. I think they're a very complete team, a deep team. They just so happen to be playing the same division as the big bad 49ers. I do think the Bengals will turn things around, but I'm not quite sold on them just yet. However, I am going against Hench on this. My player prop is on Jamar Chase over 85.5 receiving yards, minus 119. We know he said he's always effing open. So when he gets the ball, he always makes things happen. The games that he has double-digit receptions, he goes well over 100 yards receiving. I just think he's one of those guys in the league that's like totally uncoverable. So while I do trust in the Seattle DBs, I think Jamar Chase is just that good. Seattle wins again, 24-23.
Brady Lemieux says the Bengals win, but don't cover. You know what? Let's stay in Ohio. Niners and the Browns. Deshaun Watson, if you haven't heard, he's got a sore shoulder. And unfortunately, I guess there are no known treatments for having a sore shoulder. So it looks like he may not play. Interesting bit of class warfare here. San Francisco is named after the working class guy from the 19th century who used to pan for gold. The Browns are named after the owner, the upper crust. So you know what I say? I say, give me the working class, strike a blow for the proletariat, take it to the bourgeoisie Niners. I say they win it. The Niners do 26-25. Narrow victory. Hench, how say you?
Oh, it's so funny. You know, week in and week out, you look for reasons to pick against the Niners, you know, and I'm like going like, it looks like Deshaun might not play. Is it DTR? Is it Deshaun? And then I'm like, what difference does it make? This Niners team is a killing machine. They have no weaknesses. They made a very good Dallas defense look very, very bad. I have it as 27-10 Niners and maybe not even that close.
Spaghetti.
I have it 28-17 San Francisco here. I don't know what the more impressive streak is, the Brock Purdy not losing a game streak or the CMC touchdown streak up to 14 consecutive games. That's minus 180 for him to score a touchdown. I know it's a lame number, but it's like the safest bet you can make right now in the NFL. They win this game big. I mean, like I said before, they're the big bad Niners for a reason. So easy victory.
All right, I have it a little tighter than you do. Brady Lemieux is on your side. He says the Niners win and comfortably. Next, Patriots, Raiders, Tuck rule redo. Good history overall here. I don't have to tell you that, Kevin Hench. Howie Long punching Pat's owner, Pat Sullivan in 86. Sugar Bear Hamilton's Phantom roughing the passer on Snake Stabler in 76. And of course, last year's weirdo ending with New England's Jacoby Myers throwing the ball to a Raider. Were this a contest of owner hairdos? It'd be a decisive victory for Kraft over Davis. But no, it's a football game. And sorry, Raiders fans, Jacoby Myers ain't walking through that door because he's already in your locker room. You know what I say? I say Patriots go back to the fundamentals like Coach Belichick said he wanted them to do. 14-13, they emerge victorious. No need for Belichick to pay a post-game visit to a fast food joint. Hench, how say you?
I think the Raiders are pretty bad, so they're only going to win this game by 10 points. I like the Raiders 23-13. If you say, would you rather have the Patriots current starting quarterback or former Patriot, you don't even have to finish the sentence. Jim Plunkett, Steve Grogan, Tony Eason. Yeah, the answer is yes. The quarterback situation is such an apocalypse in New England. Yeah, they're gonna lose. They're gonna keep losing. Bailey Zappi's not better, so I don't know what they do. But playing Mac Jones kind of is tanking.
Well, maybe they could play Steve Grogan's neck roll. I don't know. Boy, even the dogs don't like the Patriots right now. It's dark times there. Spaghetti, how say you?
Hench has the Raiders winning by 10. I have them winning by 11 points, 24-13 Raiders here. And then Hench did bring up his quarterback, Mac Jones. And I hate doing this. I like to be fun in these player props, the overs and people scoring touchdowns left and right. But because we've seen this trend happen the last 2 weeks, I am going to go the Mac Jones under 208.5 passing yards here. It's minus 117. Why am I picking that? Because he was literally benched the last 2 games in a row. And I think that's a trend. I think, people are going to hear the boos. They're going to get tired. Belichick's going to say, all right, Zappy, go in there, show us something positive. So unfortunately for Hench and his Pats, I don't think Mac Jones will finish this game either. So yeah, Raiders win this game 24-13.
Well, Brady Lemieux's with you guys. He says that Josh McDaniels gets over on Belichick, the master. McDaniels, now I am the master. He says that the Raiders win and cover. Next up, NFC North showdown, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings. I say it's the Vikes 27-23. Feel good story. Lasts only 1 week for Justin Fields and company. I'll say you, Hench.
I love the Bears in this game. It's going to be my best bet on the big pod. I think they win 30-17. I don't really understand the line, quite frankly. The Bears have figured something out, obviously, against the commies. The Vikings have figured out that their best player isn't going to play. So I think two teams headed in opposite directions. I like the Bears.
While the bookmakers have that total dropping down quite a bit with Justin Jefferson's absence, it's moved as much as 4 points down in total. I still have it going over. Spaghetti, how say you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm an idiot, but I've kind of been touting the Vikings all season long. You guys know that. And I have been touting Jordan Addison as well. So I still have the Vikings winning 31-22. I'm just not a believer in the Bears. The prop I do have is Kirk Cousins over 251.5 passing yards is minus 117. He's second in the NFL in passing yards, and he's been over that mark 4 to 5 games this year. And again, I understand JJ is out, but I think Addison is the real deal. There's enough there. KJ Osborne, Hawk, then they bring in Akers. I think there's enough to get them by the lowly Bears. So I am going with the Vikings to win this one 31-22.
I like the electric pick here by Brady Lemieux. Who's going to win this game? No one. It's a tie, he says. Kiss your sister. He also says, by virtue of the Bears catching 2.5 here, to bet the Bears. Next, Cowboys and Chargers in SoFi. I like to think about what do the teams have in the Venn diagram overlap in NFL history, and they don't really have one, the Chargers and the Cowboys. Who caught Super Bowl VI? Quick bit of trivia for you, Kevin Hench. Who caught the 2 touchdown passes off the right arm of Roger Staubach in Super Bowl VI?
Percy Howard?
No. Good guess, though. Super Bowl X.
Preston
Only
Pearson?
catch.
Preston Pearson?
No, here's the connection. One is Mike Ditka. The other one, Bambi, Lance Allworth of the Dallas Cowboys, got a touchdown pass against the Miami Dolphins. We don't have time for this jive. I'll just tell you right now, I have the Chargers by 1 point, 28-27. Chargers at home. Theoretically, obviously, the Cowboys are going to have more fans there. Plus 2.5 are those Bolts. I say they win it outright. Like I say, 28-27. Hench.
I always wonder if Brandon Staley factors into his decision on 4th down in his own territory the fact that they never make it. Like, does that ever factor into Staley's decision? Should I go for it on my own 28? Well, you never make it. You never make it. Think about it. But I think they do make it this week. I think Eckler being back is obviously a big difference for the Chargers. And on the other side, it's funny, whenever you have a thunder and lightning combination like Zeke and Pollard, lightning always benefits from thunder. And if you look at Pollard's yards per carry, now that he's thunder and lightning, it's like he's down to 4.2 yards a carry. That regression is very common in those situations. So I like the Chargers with their lightning back, Eckler 30-20.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm going to call this game the Spider-Man meme game where they're pointing at each other, because I feel like the Chargers and the Cowboys are basically the same exact teams, but in just different conferences. To a lot of talent on both rosters, but they never win when it matters, and they have coaches who you just don't trust in. But I am going to go Dallas win this one 27-23. Why? We saw them when they lost that game to the Cardinals. They come back out and the next week after and they explode. They look great. I don't think it's going to be the same kind of explosion, but I do think after that really, really bad loss to San Fran, they will come out and win this game. Hench brought up Austin Eckler. So I am going to go with this kind of spicy player prop here. His first game back after week 1, over 50.5 rushing yards, minus 121. Dallas gives up 4.5 yards per carry. And then when Eckler was healthy in week 1, he had 117 rush yards. So was averaging like 7 yards a carry. So I like Eckler to have a pretty good game. But again, Dallas is 1 by 4.
Brady Lemieux says Chargers. Says the same thing I say. Chargers win this one outright. And it's time for my favorite part of the 15-minute pregame show, the 4-second halftime show. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Football Baby. Here's the Charleston.
Sweet. Now on to the Eagles and the Jets. 2 mascots that fly. One thing's for sure. Someone's leaving the stadium green with envy or green, period. They both wear green, you understand. Big one here as those Kirk Cousins to the Jets rumors take off further and further here. Jets +7 right now. Total is 41. I say it's the Eagles 30-20. Hench, how say you?
We're in the same garage. Very close, actually, in final score, too. I like the Eagles 29-17. Nice story last week for the Jets, obviously getting a little revenge over an awful team in Denver, but they're going up in class quite a bit against the undefeated Eagles, and they're going to get smoked.
Spaghetti.
I have the Eagles winning this game, but I have the Jets covering. So I have 26-20 Eagles here. I just feel like every game they play is just super tight. They're not playing to the best of their abilities yet. I know I was very high on them in this offseason, but I think the Jets, you see how good this roster is. Sans quarterback, while Zach Wilson is playing better. But the real story to me, at least, of late of the Jets is Breece Hall. He's been great. I have Breece Hall over 52.5 rush yards as minus 108. He's gone over that number 3 times this season. And this game that he did, he was averaging 12.7 yards per carry, 9.3 yards per carry, and 8.0 yards per carry. The Jets are averaging as a team 5.4 yards per carry on the ground, which is 3rd in the NFL. So they could definitely run the ball. And I think this game will be tight, but the Eagles will pull away and win 26-20.
All right, next up, Brady Lemieux, by the way, has the Eagles winning this one comfortably. And next up, Giants and Bills. Go watch Buffalo 66 to get right for this one. I wonder if Scott Norwood watches this game, cares about this. It is a Super Bowl 25 rematch. It's the Giants and the Bills are given 14 here. I hate those double-digit favorites in the NFL at this point in the calendar. 14 is pretty heavy. Total on this one is 45. I say the Bills win it, but only by 10, 33-23. Hench, how say you?
Same garage, Shek. I have the Bills winning 31-19. The Giants are in this weird situation. Normally, if your starting quarterback can't go, you assume it's going to hurt the team. But at this point, it's very hard to tell if it makes any difference. However, I think whether it's Tyrod Taylor or DJ, they score a late touchdown to cover that huge number.
Spaghetti, go.
The only game that matters between Buffalo and New York are the Rangers versus the Sabres, and hopefully the Rangers, by the time you're listening to this one, won that game. But I think the Giants, I know, the Giants stink. They're going to lose this game 40-20. Buffalo wins. It's going to be a worse game than the Dolphins game. Stephon Diggs, he's going to go over 83.5 receiving yards as minus 117. Why? The Giants stink terribly. Everyone's injured. And then he's gone over that mark 4 to 5 games this year. He's gone over 100 yards. So I think even though Diggs and Allen seem to have a little bit of animosity, I still trust them. And the Giants just keep getting more and more injured. It's terrible to watch.
Okay, Bills, Brady Lemieux agrees with us by 14 points. They do land right on the number there. Spaghetti, we are across and into pay dirt here. Do we have time to go for an extra point?
We could do, we got one really quick, one extra point. Yep.
Okay, Commies, Falcons given 1.5 at home, 42.5 is the total there. I say the Commies and Sam Howell find themselves get right after last week's embarrassment. They win 24-23. Hench, how say you?
Well, we know the Falcons can run the ball. Last week, it seemed like maybe they figured out how to pass the ball. Now, they have not done both these things in the same game yet. But if ever there was a defense that allows both those things to happen, it might be that Commies defense, which was supposed to be pretty good this year. I think this game is tied with 2 minutes left. I don't think the Commies defense can get a stop. Falcons win 26-23.
2 2 for the win. Spaghetti, go.
24-21, Atlanta wins this game. I love the fact they made a trade for Van Jefferson. They're at least attempting to pass the ball more. Maybe Ritter has more confidence now. And my player prop, Bijan Robinson, finally scores a touchdown. It's -111. Atlanta wins.
Brady Lemieux says Dirty Birds win, don't cover, and that's it for us. All the scores scrolling. You can go back and check all those out. Also, go back and listen to the two very strong episodes of -3 available for your ears and your heart at your leisure. We'll talk to you after this NFL weekend. In the meantime, I hope your team wins, unless they're playing my team. Thanks so much, football fans. It's been a thin slice of heaven.